Welcome back. You know, every day here on Biggers and Summer, we like to bring you a segment that we feel is an uplifting and positive story. We call these segments our life changers. And our next guest is certainly no exception. She's just completed, now stay tuned, the Hawaiian Ironman Triathlon, which we'll describe in detail. It's an incredible feat, a goal she never thought she would achieve, and we'll tell you how she did it. Please welcome Rachel Blythe, Kodanaz. Nice to see you, Rachel.
Nice to see you.
Welcome to the show today.
Welcome. Thank you.
Before we get into the sheer logistics of becoming an Ironman, tell us the special reason that got you involved in this.
Well, I had the unfortunate situation happen to me in 1992, April of 92. My husband, who at the time was an avid athlete himself, he walked outside the office one day. He ran 8 miles during the day, and unfortunately, he died in the parking lot of work. They never really found out what it was. They counted it off to arrhythmia, that he just missed a heartbeat. And I had, well, still do, but at the time my daughter was, it was 5 days after her 2nd birthday, and we just hit rock bottom, about as rock bottom as you can get. I had a lot of things that happened to me at the time, a lot of medical things, and I had, you know, my house was robbed, just everything could happen, and I was at rock bottom.
Was this his goal, to run this event or to participate?
He, as a triathlete, you know, one day I'd love to go to the World Championships and, you know, see the Kona lavas, and he talked about it for years. And one of our friends that we knew from Kansas City, he in 1988 wanted us to do it with him, but he wanted us to become vagabonds with him, so to speak, and we would just travel around trying to qualify, and then we'd go down there. But Rod's career meant more to him, and it's, you know, having a family. So we moved to Washington, D.C. instead, and we talked about it every year, but we never did it.
Talk about an opportunity to really start evaluating the things that you want to do in life.
Right, and the Ironman takes a lot of time to train.
Explain explain to our viewers what it is when we say triathlon, and also we said Ironman, Ironwoman. Is it a co-ed event?
It's a co-ed event. There's 1,500 athletes. It's the World Championships. It's called the World Championships. It's in Kona, Hawaii. You start with a 2.4-mile ocean water swim, followed by a 112-mile bike ride in the lava fields and the winds and all that fun stuff. And then you get off your bike and you run 26.2 miles to finish at...
and you completed this in how many hours?
13 hours and 15 minutes.
I can't even begin to fathom that. What was the best time?
Actually, I'm not really sure what the winning... I think the winning women's time was around 9:20, 9:30, and the men's was 8-something. I'm not...
How do you train for an event like that? It's got to be mind-boggling.
I've told everybody that I think the training was harder than the actual event, because when you're there in Kona with everybody else and everyone's hurting as much as you are, it's easier to get through the finish line. The actual training was very hard. I hired a wonderful coach, Mark Hodges, out of Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, here we go.
And he...
Oh, there you are with your daughter.
Yeah, we trained a lot. And he just taught me how to train and enjoy life, and we swam together, Gretchen and I, we ran together.
Did you use the thoughts of your husband, the inspiration that it must have been when you got to some tough points in your training? How did you use that?
When there was a lot of times that I was out in the Kansas fields, and it was so hot this summer, and I just didn't want to go another pedal, and I just kept saying, Rachel, you know, you're not here by yourself. You're doing this for someone else, for your family. It brings to a closure. And not totally a closure, but a closure to, you know, like I said, I was rock bottom and, you know, working my way up. And a dear girlfriend said to me, you're going to land back on the ground someday and you'll be a different person. And I am a different person.
When you got to the actual event, were you nervous? Were you saying, my gosh, I accomplished it, no matter what happens, it's okay? What was the thought process?
My thought was, I need to cross the finish line no matter what. No matter how slow I did this, I have to cross the finish line. And actually, I was pretty calm. I was much calmer than a smaller triathlon, shorter distance, where you just use more speed. And I said, and everybody told me, including my coaches, if you finish the program, you're going to be able to get through. You just have to make sure you eat out there. And I just ate and drank everything. You know, I brought food with me on the bike and the run, and I just made sure I had enough energy to finish, and I crossed the finish line. And it was, I wish you could bottle the emotions that were at the end, because, and then sell it or just share it.
And 13 hours has got to be really an achievement. Isn't that a really good time, Rachel?
Well, I was hoping to do better, but the winds were, but I still, I mean, to walk away and, you know, you get back on the airplane and you get back to the rest of America, and I'm like, oh my God, I just accomplished something that's amazing.
What'd your daughter say?
Oh, she was so excited. She was at the finish line. She put a lei over my head, and she was just, you know, it was late at night, a long day for her, and she was just, oh, my mommy's the Iron. She calls me the Iron Woman, and she calls me, because I have a sponsorship with Applebee, she calls me the Applebee Woman and the Applebee Girl, and she always tells everybody, it's not the Iron Man, it's the Iron Woman. And
you too just got married.
Yes, I did, about 5.5 months ago. I met somebody, and have a great time
And
together.
you said your
story.
daughter's doing very well.
Oh, we're doing great. It's a great family situation. I would never, 3.5 years ago, if you told me that my life would change and I'd come back up and be as happy as I am now, I would have told you you're lying.
Thanks for sharing the story.
That's why we call it a
Thanks.
life changer. Thanks
That's
so
it.
much, Rachel.